That's not good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all are having a great day. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the Blue Dragon ever since we did Super Lap Battle a couple months ago, and what happened to the car in the intro. As you can see, a lot of smoke pouring out of the engine, which smoke coming out of the engine is usually not a good thing, so we'll go into detail about that. But first I wanted to go all the way back to February and explain kind of how we got to this point. So back in February, we went Super Lap Battle, competed there again for the second year, and we came in P6, 6th place, which is not exactly where we wanted to end up. Last year, in 2019, we got second place, podium, the first year it was ever held. We ran a 2:19 was our fastest lap. This year, in 2020, the fastest lap we ran was a 2:20. I did confirm that was a 2:20. So a second slower than the previous year. Why that is there's a few reasons. One of the reasons we were a little slower than last year is because Super Lap Battle changed to a spec tire, the Yokohama AO52 for the limited class. So everybody in the class had to run the Yokohama AO52. In 2019, we were running a mixed tire combo of the Goodyear 3R tires up front and the Viper ACR tires in the rear. Now, the Viper ACR tires in the rear were a 19-inch tire, and they were 355 sections, so they were just massive tires and super sticky, probably the stickiest street tires you can buy. The Yokohamas, while they were fairly sticky, they had pretty good grip. Our biggest issue was they only came in a 315 width and an 18-inch tire, 18-inch wheel size. So we went from a 355-19 to a 315-18. So we lost a ton of contact patch in the rear, which made it very difficult for us to put power down. And then on top of that, because the 315-18 is so much shorter, the ZL1 1LE is geared for a 19-inch tire. We were running out of 5th gear on the back straight. Sometimes Scott would try to shift into 6th, but 6th is basically useless. It's an overdrive gear. So gearing, traction were some of our biggest problems because of the tire. There's not a whole lot we can do about the tire, but another issue we have is that the Camaro, while it does look pretty crazy, is actually pretty stock. It has 100% bone stock suspension. Now, the Multimatic suspension that came on the car is really good, but once you start modifying the car, you start trying to get 10/10ths out of it. There's just no adjustability in the Multimatic system. It's not even a coilover in the rear. There's no rear end height adjustment. There's no rebound compression adjustment at all. So we're not even running a full coilover setup. We're running a completely non-adjustable setup. And for some reason in the back, the alignment kept coming out. So the toe kept pointing outwards a lot by the end of day 2. I don't know why that keeps happening. So the suspension is one of those things that really just needs to get upgraded if we're going to be more competitive in the future. So we decided to take the car up to MSR Creston to a shop up there run by AJ. And he was working on putting some aftermarket suspension parts, trying to figure out what the best solution would be to try and get a more adjustable suspension setup on the car. So the car has been with AJ for the past couple weeks. He's been adding some things, and I also believe the end goal for him is to make some parts that he can sell for the Camaro, for anybody who would be interested. It's still kind of a work in progress, but once we get everything set up on the car and all the parts and everything, then I'll have more information for you guys. So a couple weeks ago, we decided to go test the Blue Dragon with some new suspension components on it, and we got one of our Tame Racing drivers, Cameron Lawrence, who runs the Trans America series, and we all went up to Creston to run the car. And so the last video I had with the Camaro running around the track, if you look in the rear view mirror, you can see a bunch of smoke coming out, and so we'll pick up from there.
did you see it drop?
No, I just smell it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't. Did you lock up the brakes? Oil, right?
Huh?
Did you lock up the brakes?
I
It's
don't.
smoking
Was
really
it
bad.
braking? I don't think that was brakes.
Okay, I think it's oil.
Yeah, go back.
He's running about 110 decibels. Yeah, you got a limit on what he's doing. Yeah, he's loud. It doesn't look like anybody's sliding out there, so I'm not sick. Nothing on the truck, I don't think. No, there's
That's
no
no bueno.
What was it?
Oil.
Look like cars on fire.
Oil?
We're leaking oil. Yeah.
Out of the engine?
We don't know. Yeah. That's no bueno. Come on, Jacob. Except for crabbing. It's just used to doing it.
Oh, that's not good.
It's used to driving crooked, so we're gonna have to do it.
What did you do? What did you do?
I done broke it. It done broke.
So you were coming down the straight. It looks like I saw a bunch of smoke come out.
Yeah, coming out of Big Bend onto sort of like the front straight where the pit entry is. As soon as I got on the brakes, actually, or right before it, I started to smell something, and just took a peek in the rearview mirror and saw a little bit of smoke. So I just threw it in neutral and turned it off and coasted in the pit lane just to make sure nothing was hurt. So it looks like it's leaking oil somewhere a little bit. It's not, hopefully, anything major.
It's dropping out. I mean,
It's not blowing it out the back though. So.
It's not going out the exhaust, so that's good. Yeah, we'll see. No, and as far as racing goes, it didn't seem major. It wasn't a whole lot of smoke. It wasn't a smoke screen, so we're okay.
I mean, there's a fair bit of smoke,
Yeah.
and you could smell it pretty good.
Yeah, it smelled hot, so
Yeah.
hopefully it's just a leak somewhere and tighten up a fitting and we'll be good to go.
Is that the oil cooler?
Just pop the wine out.
Maybe.
Well, Jacob, I think we're gonna have to take this panel down and really get in there, huh?
Found it? Well, so the oil cooler is right in here. So the lines that feed it are right up in there too.
Yeah, it's on the front up here. So yeah,
Just an oil cooler line popped out, hopefully.
think so. Maybe we can replace the O-rings and
I wonder why it would have popped out. So that's going to end up being the problem. Catch can time it is. Oh, sorry. You were filming. You were trying to see the big ass puddle in there. Cameron broke the car. Cameron decided to use oil to power the car instead of gasoline.
Yep.
It's all Cameron's fault.
Too much RPM, Cameron.
Look, there's oil draining back out of the throttle body. Inside the throttle body. That's nuts. Well, if we get this fixed, we might still have to make a run this afternoon even.
So what's the problem with this?
So we think the air oil separator is gummed up or plugged or whatever, so it's just sucking, instead of doing what it's supposed to do, which is separate the air and oil, allow the oil to go back in the system, and it's not. It's just sucking oil straight from the crankcase basically into the intake. That's what we're thinking.
Almost need to run a session just to kind of clear it out.
Right.
what are we thinking the issue is at this point?
So I think it's a crankcase pressure, and then the crankcase pressure pushes on the front main seal, and then it's blowing the oil out there. It's the easiest place for it to escape. Then it's going all down the bottom of the car.
Right.
So what's not going down the bottom of the car is going through the intake pipe and out the tailpipes, going through the engine and out the back.
And you're saying the fix is to do LS3 seal or something, or?
Yeah, what I'm reading here, and for what it's worth, I'm reading it on the internet. I guess it's a tighter tolerance seal than the current one. So hopefully it retains more pressure, because the only time we're seeing the oil come out of the car is on deceleration. So the throttle body's kind of closed, and throttle body's closed, and the engine's still, creating pressure in the crankcase.
Cameron's fault. Yeah, definitely. That's the consensus. Cameron's fault. Definitely.
So the oil went all over the place this time.
Fire suit needs to come off, because
So that is no bueno.
I mean, it's easy enough to get.
General consensus is it's Cameron's fault. What a weird issue to have out of nowhere.
right? Yeah,
I mean,
just very strange.
working no problem. What? So he said change the front wing? Is that what he said? Change
Front main seal.
front main. Okay.
So the behind the crankshaft pulley.
Yeah.
This is not an odd thing to have the front main blow.
Yeah.
It's a 9-page thread.
Really?
Well, as you can see, that wasn't how we wanted things to go. It wasn't exactly going according to plan. When Jason brought the car back in, as you could see, there was still a bunch of oil pouring out from the bottom of the car, and we weren't sure where it was coming from. So we didn't get to run the car anymore that day, and we left the car with AJ. It's been a couple weeks since then, and AJ has been able to run a leak down and compression test on the Camaro, and everything looked good. So we just think it's the front main seal that failed and was causing oil to leak through. The solution is going to be to replace the front main seal and then to set up a catch can to help relieve some of the pressure behind the seal to prevent that from happening in the future. But it looks like everything is okay with the engine, so fingers crossed there. We currently have a set of coilovers coming for the car. I'll go into more detail once we get that set up. But so we're going to do full coilovers, and we're doing basically every part SPL has. Like I said, once we get everything finalized, I'll go into more detail about that. Hopefully the cars will be back on the track here pretty soon. And that's going to do it for this vlog, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day.